Hello everybody, welcome back to another Q&A of the Dead. It's as good a title as any. And today, we are in front of the wall of questions.
Who are you?
See? So, to start off, obviously, if you want to leave your questions for the next video, the comment section, obviously. There's also the Tumblr page, there's also the Facebook fan page, and my Twitter for any question you want to leave me. And also, if you wish to support the show, which would be very much appreciated, you can go to my Patreon page and donate however much you wish to donate. So now that's all out of the way, let's get started. Starting off with an easy one from Andrew Dorman. What's your favourite Hellblazer story? Yeah, this is definitely one of the easiest questions I've ever had. Dangerous Habits. Dangerous Habits is my favourite Hellblazer story of all time. I have like 3 versions of that story because it's fantastic. It's also kind of why I like the Constantine movie, because it's heavily based on Dangerous Habits. And I was also looking forward to Dangerous Habits in the TV show, but fuck you, NBC. So yeah, Dangerous Habits. I should probably elaborate on why. Basically, it's a really interesting story because it takes a really confident hero and puts him at his lowest moment. And not to give away too much, but the entire last issue of that story arc is like a huge conversation between the 3 lords of hell to who gets Constantine's soul. It's a fantastic story with a fantastic ending. So yeah, that's why I like it. I recommend you go out and buy it. You can buy Dangerous Habits in its, trade paperback form, and I highly recommend it. It's definitely, I don't know. It might be a good place to start with Hellblazer if you wish to start. Especially if you're familiar with the movie, because in it you got a bit of a kind of a grounding. Because it's kind of, before it gets a bit too mental to follow, and it's kind of after it's like a bit dull. It's not thoroughly dull, and it's certainly not bad, but it certainly picks up from Dangerous Habits onwards. So yeah, I recommend it. Our next question comes from Stephanie Sermon. Hello again. And it's in 2 parts. Part 1. Do you believe in UFOs, astral projection, mental telepathy, ESP, clairvoyance, spirit photography, telekinetic movement, full trance mediums, the Loch Ness Monster, and the theory of Atlantis? Wow, we're really covering all bases with that question. How to answer it? I guess it's kind of difficult, because I'll just go through which ones I say no to. Astral projection, highly doubt it. Mental telepathy, not really. ESP, again, not really. Clairvoyance, which I would put on the same tier, if you will. I'm reading my laptop, by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm looking down. So yeah, you got clairvoyance and full trance mediums. Oh, I can say a lot about this. First of all, I'm one of these people who thinks that mediums are complete frauds. That's it. They are frauds, hucksters, and snake oil salesmen. That's pretty much it. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who have investigated these people, I would suggest you look up people like James Randi. He's done a lot of debunking of this nonsense, and he has a lot to say on the subject, and he's a very, very knowledgeable man. Also Darren Brown, who I think is awesome. They've done a lot of debunking when it comes to mediums and mediumship, and no one has ever been able to prove that they are a medium or a clairvoyant. And again, it's the process of taking a very vulnerable person and exploiting them for money. That's it. I don't see any other definition of mediumship. And I don't want the comments to get filled with this crap. This is my opinion. You cannot sway me from my opinion, so I wouldn't bother. This is what I'm just saying. I don't believe in it. I think it's one of the worst things anyone could ever be, because you are basically a fraud and a liar. Simple as that. We're getting dark today. Right. The telekinetic movement, all that stuff, not really. Loch Ness Monster. I don't know. It's highly unlikely. Mainly because the only photographs we've ever had have been proven to be false. So yeah. Theory of Atlantis. The theory of Atlantis comes from Socrates. He was one of the first people, I believe, I could be wrong with this, but I believe he was one of the first people to write about Atlantis. And there are several theories that he adapted Atlantis from an actual Grecian city that was destroyed during an earthquake and it sank into the ocean. Destroyed. So it's possible he took that and kind of made it a bit more fantastical. And there's other things, but that's the only one that comes off the top of my head. So I suppose you could consider that a yes. But no, I don't believe in the fact that there is a city under the water that's, filled with mer people or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, that's about it. And part 2 of the question is, what do you prefer, crumpets or toast? It's kind of a tonal shift from that last question. I don't know. I like both. And I know that a lot of Americans don't know what crumpets are. I would suggest you look it up, because it's pretty hard to describe, actually. They're kind of like a savoury toasted tea cake that you put jam on, you put butter on, but you can also put savoury things on. It's very strange. It's a very British thing. I like crumpets. I like toast. Why do we need to choose? Next question is from the female Red. Which is worse, a film with wasted potential and could have been really good, or one where the filmmakers couldn't give a damn if the final product is good or not? And will you ever review any Uwe Boll films? Firstly, Uwe Boll, probably not, because I don't like him. He's a terrible director, terrible. Anything to do with films, he's terrible at. Yes, I know some of his films can be funny, if you can put it like that, but I just don't want to give any kind of notoriety to the guy. I think the only reason people know his name is because people say, oh, his films are so bad they're good. No, I disagree. I don't think so bad it's good should be a thing, because it takes attention away from genuinely good films and people who actually give a shit, and gives it to pathetic directors who have no concept of what makes a film, and it gives them these huge boosts in notoriety, like Birdemic, for Christ's sake. Never looking at that, by the way. That got popular because people said it was so bad it's good, and everybody watched it, and then he thinks he's actually good at making films. He's so deluded, he actually thinks that that's a good thing. So yeah, and then he made a fucking second one. I don't like that concept. The so bad it's good concept is entirely irritating to me. So with Uwe Boll, highly doubt it. I understand that some of his more recent films have gotten a bit better, but again, not my cup of tea. What was the other part? Yes, a film with wasted potential, or where no one could give a shit. I think I just answered my question there, actually. It's hard to say, because I think wasted potential in a film, at least it shows that the filmmakers tried. Yes, they failed, but it gives you hope that maybe they'll make something good next time. You know, like what with, for example, Uwe Boll. I don't think he's ever going to make an actual good film that people will sit down in the cinemas to watch, and and people will buy the DVDs and all this. Not because they find it hilarious, not because they find it so bad it's good, but because they just find it good. No, I doubt that. But with wasted potential, at least there's hope that the director, the writer, whatever, has a chance to do something more. So in a way, wasted potential for a film is better than if they didn't give a shit, but it doesn't make the film any better, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, the next one will be better, or might be better, but you're still giving us shit, so it's hard to say. I think they're both equally bad in very different ways, essentially. And to answer your first, slightly joking question, but I'd like to answer it anyway, marry, shag, kill, Pinhead. Why do I need to choose? Surely all three. And not necessarily in that order. And our last question from an idiot, his requested name. Were you a viewer of reviewers before you started making your own? And if any, how much influence would you say they have on your work? Interesting question, because I would say, first of all, yes. Obviously, I did watch a lot of reviewers. I watched a lot of that guy with the glasses stuff and all the people on there. And occasionally I still watch people like that. And at first, they probably had a huge influence on me. To a point where I was probably trying to emulate them a bit too much. Especially in my most hated video, The Crow, City of Angels. I'm not going to go over that one again. But I think now I definitely have less influences and it's more just me. And I mean, there are some lingering influences here and there. Like, for example, if you've ever seen SF Debris. His style of movie reviews is very similar to mine. And it's not exactly the same, obviously. But I do think that that's kind of a very similar idea. It's highly analytical with funny moments. That's about it. So yeah, if anybody, it would probably be him. And yes, and he would also be one of the people I watched before starting my videos, but that's about it. And yeah, that's about it really. It's generally that guy with the glasses people and SF Debris. But that's about it. And yeah, not so much influenced by them now, because I don't watch them now. It's just not something I do. No reason. I just don't watch them. So yeah, that's a bit of a short question to end on. I hope this new format is a little bit better, a little bit more lively, because I felt a bit lazy just sitting in my chair. So I think this will be pretty good. So yes, and I shall reiterate what I said at the start. Questions rather, in the comment section, on Tumblr, the Facebook fan page, my Twitter, and if you wish to support the show, please have a look at the Patreon page. The remaining questions, there's not that many, so please submit more, will be rolled over into the next video, and I will see you in the next video. Say goodbye, Wall of Questions.
What's going on?
Fantastic.